Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today we are here to talk about the brand new Danessa Myricks Lightwork V Eye Am Palette for eyes and face. So happy to have you here. Don't forget that you can also follow me over on Instagram, TikTok, and on Threads. Okay, I just finished a video, a few days ago, and it was all about makeup that's too pretty to touch, almost too pretty to even touch. You just want to look at it. This is kind of the opposite in a really good way. This is too pretty, but you just want to touch it all over. Let me explain to you what I mean. This, again, is the Danessa Myricks Lightwork V. It's called the Eye Am Palette for Eyes and Face, and it is $125. And before you say $125, well, let me tell you what you get. Let's look at it, and you'll see exactly what I mean. Too pretty, but you definitely want to touch it. We do have a mirror. We have this gorgeous outside with this beautiful, she's been doing this lately, metal plate that has the name of the palette. Beautiful. You pay for the packaging, you might as well like it. And inside we have 18 different shades in 6 different finishes that are all representative of different I Am affirmations. After all, this is the I Am face palette. Now, if you follow Danessa Myricks Beauty on Instagram, you will see that Danessa Myricks does a lot of really inspiring, heartfelt, I'll tell you why I say heartfelt in a moment, heartfelt kind of affirmations. You are enough. You can do this. You might think that you cannot, but you do not stop yourself. These kind of really inspiring. And the reason I feel they're very authentic is it feels like Danessa Myricks, as a mother, as a businesswoman, and as an artist, has lived by these. Like, it feels genuine. It doesn't feel like she's like, you know what, let's try to put something positive out there. No, you can tell that these are affirmations that are meaningful to her family, to her business, and to her sense of self. And therefore it works. There's something about authenticity that cannot be faked, I believe. So let's take a look here. I have talked about Danessa Myricks a lot on this channel. She is a definite artist and a definite rule breaker, but it's not so much that she breaks the rules. She just has always worked around them and made her own rules. And this is what we get. Now, this is volume 5. I have reviewed all the other volumes, and many have said, oh, they're complicated, they're difficult. And Danessa Myricks has said this one is a lot easier to work with. Though we have 6 different finishes, they are all, for the most part, shimmery, glittery shades. They look like she's had these chrome flakes that were individual, and these are really kind of easier to work with. There's no formula that you have to wet in here first, which frustrated some people. It never frustrated me because I don't approach makeup in the same way that a makeup artist would, and I hope it makes me a little bit more open to playing with these things. They are glittery, but there's not a lot of sharpness to them, so they don't hurt on the skin. If you have a problem with really chunky glitter, I don't think you're not going to be too bothered by these, but of course you have to make that decision for yourself. And this is indeed a face palette, so we are going to try it. I have my Danessa Myricks Yummy as a base, and I have some of the cheek and lip color on, just a little bit. Just, again, more like a base, and we're going to use this for everything. We're going to do highlight and cheeks, but I want to look at some swatches. Of course, all of this will be listed down below in the description bar, along with a link if you would like to join our $4.99 membership per month. We have Gossipy Lives every week. We'd love to have you. All right, let's look at some swatches in 2 different lightings. Here are all 18 shades as they're laid out in the palette. First, in studio lighting, take a look. And as you see, these are all, though there are 6 finishes, they are all very sparkly and very glittery, and therefore perfect for the holidays, I think. Also justifies the $125 price tag. These are not cheap little guys to create or make, and they perform extremely well. They have a certain stick-to-itiveness. They really stick to the eyes and to the face beautifully. Don't create a lot of ridiculous fallout or anything like that. You can see that even in the swatches. They're not falling all over or kind of melding into each other even in the swatches. Let's take those swatches outside into the warm California sunshine and take a look at them on my arm outside. Again, as I said, you can see that they just kind of stay where you put them. And there's a lot of innovation in that formula, even though there are 6 different finishes. And it is very glittery, very perfect for the holidays. Perfectly pairs with the palette that Danessa Myricks just did with the Groundwork palette, which has all kind of neutrals and matte shades in both cream and powder. These would combine beautifully. But since this is my first attempt at it here, I am going to go in just with this palette. We're going to do an all kind of sparkly look. In future videos about other things, I will use the two together because I think that would be really fun. And I have a video coming up I think I can do that with. But today we will look just at the Lightwork 5 for eyes and face. Let's get into this and play with this a little bit. Do me a favor and just give a quick check to make sure that you are subscribed to this channel. And if you're not, please do me the favor of clicking the subscribe button. It's very helpful. I want to try, I do have a little bit Dancing Queen, the cream shade from Danessa Myricks, as kind of a base of the blush, but I kind of want to go in here, right here to this shade, and just add a little bit of that to my brush. It's got a little bit of a shift to it, but I just want to know what that would do on top of Dancing Queen. I am using a very fluffy Wayne Goss brush just because I don't want to put a ton of it on. Obviously, I'm putting a ton for the camera. It's just kind of purpley and fun, and I think it kind of goes with the lip. And I'm just kind of patting that on. And this will also be very highlighty because obviously it is a sparkly shade. I'm just going to kind of put that in with my hands there. I have overdone it a little bit for the camera, but it's nothing that's too much certainly for holiday wear. Just really pretty as a cheek color. And I can even you can work with hands, you can work with brushes, sponges, whatever's more comfortable for you. I'm going to even go right in here. Why not? Because we're here to do this. Look how smooth this is. So yes, it's a glittery shade, but look right there at how smooth that is. That is not going to poke you or hurt. It's just a nice smooth shade. And look at what I'm doing. I'm just going to add that using my finger. I already had a lot of sparkle, but I'm just going to add that as a bit more. I don't know if I would do that for my own everyday use, but we're having fun here, and I want to just kind of demonstrate all the ways to use this. So maybe that's a little sparkly, but I kind of like it. And I think it's perfectly appropriate for holidays. Again, for the eyes, we can go ahead and use brushes, as I did on the cheeks, or we can use our fingers. So I might do a little bit of both. You can also apply this to the lips. I do have a lip color on, but I could, if I wanted to, certainly go in, say, to this shade right here in the middle and add that over some gloss and just kind of deepen things. Again, I'm being a little outrageous, and I don't know if for everyday Rebecca life I would, but I just want to show you the depth that you can do. This just combined with my gloss and made a very deep, dark, like kind of a mulberry blue-red. Let's take a fluffy eyeshadow brush and see what we can do here. Maybe we'll do 2 different looks on the eyes. It's tempting to think that these are the eye shades and these are maybe face shades, but no, it's just the layout of the palette. So let's do one eye with kind of a green shade. I'm going to go in right here, and you'll see all those names on the screen. And I'm just going to add this really deep, dark green. We'll do 2 different eye looks to this corner of the eye and up. And that applies really easily and really well. And though it doesn't budge and fall everywhere, even with this slightly fluffy blending brush from Sonia G, I don't have anything. It's still got a nice shine to it, but I don't have any sort of glitter flakes. It's not like that. Okay. Keeping that same brush, I want to go in with this shade right here. This could be done with fingers. This is going to be a little bit more glittery or glimmery. I'm going to take that from the inner corner of the eye all the way onto the eye and into the deeper shade and just show you how that looks there. And I'm not getting a look, you guys, that's shockingly glittery. I'm going to go back into that darker shade with a different brush, also from Sonia G, and just go underneath. Look at that. That is 2 shades. And this one is much more reflective and changes color a bit more, but I just want you to see it. That is just kind of a whole green look. Now I'm wearing a red top, and red and green aren't great together, I know, but you know, if I were wearing something that green would work with, I'm very pleased with that. And it's not too glittery. There's not glitter falling all over my face. There's not glitter falling in my eyes. I don't feel glitter particles when I put it onto my eye, and that's really important. Let's go ahead and look maybe at some of the golder or more yellowy shades. So let's take this shade here, and then we'll go into this one too. But let's take this shade right here and just kind of go all over the eye with it. This is kind of a golden pink shade. The way that these shift and the colors that these kind of turn into is insane. Now I do have this all over the face and whatnot and on the lips, and you don't have to go that bold. I don't know if I would, but I just wanted to, you know, demonstrate the depth of this. And let's take that same brush and go into this more flaky golden shade here. Again, none of it, I'm using a brush, not even my finger, and none of this is falling into my eye. None of this is falling all over my face, even using a brush. I'm going to show you with the finger. I'm going to go into that same shade there with the finger, and that will give it a little more that'll give it a little bit more of that flake and that shine. Because when we use our finger, the emolliency on our fingers, you know, the natural oils in our skin give it a little bit more adherence. That's beautiful. I think we're going to finish this off by going in with this slightly, it has a bit of a green shift to it. Just put that into the center. This reminds me of that Pat McGrath shade Sextraterrestrial from one of the Divine Rose palettes. Do you guys remember that shade? I love that shade. It just kind of goes green and goes, look at this. Just look at this eye right here. Let me cover this one up. Just look at that eye. It makes me look better than I am. I mean, at performing. I am, as I always tell you guys, I'm a beauty journalist. I'm not a makeup artist. I just like to have fun with the colors and the makeup. This looks like I have a little bit more ability than I do. And I'm just, my knowledge is huge. My ability, you know, I'm just normal at putting on makeup. And this kind of makes it look like I'm better than I am, you know? And I don't find these tricky. Now, I will tell you, I have never found Danessa Myricks palettes tricky. I just don't get intimidated. I'm just like, it's makeup. We can wash it off, you know? But what I want you to know before you go into this palette, there's so many of you who are going to say, Rebecca, it's gorgeous, but, you know, I just can't do glitters, and I can't. It's not really like that. It's kind of either flakes or like melts on your skin, and it's not really, it's not sharp single glitters. It's just, it's its own beast. As you see, there's so much shine on my eyes and my cheeks, but you don't see individual squares or dots of glitter. And that's what I think is genius about this. And the fact that you could then put these, you could take these and put them on the lips and blend it in. Look at that. Put anything over that. You could put this on the cheeks. You could highlight with it. I don't think I would recommend that you bronze with this particular palette, but you do, you, of course. But we have all these shades that lend themselves to blush, to highlight, but mostly to eyes. And for the holidays, to me, this is the ultimate holiday palette for that sparkly party look. Or if you just want to add a little sparkle, like I said, you could pair this with her Groundwork palette or with the Patrick Ta mattes that have just come out, or whatever that you have on hand, and have a really cute little topper shade even. So I just think it's a lot of fun. This will be my go-to party palette. I don't do a lot of parties, but this still feels subtle. If I didn't have it on the cheeks, I know that's a little overboard. Just wanted to show you how it works. All right, let me know if this is something that you were considering. Super user-friendly, as you saw. I just kind of threw it on my eye, and it looks like I have a lot more talent than I do. So let's talk about this. This is what makes us a community after all, right? So go ahead and tell me your thoughts, and if you're going to pick this up, or if you're maybe a little bit tempted to pick this up, or if I can show you any other shades a little bit more up close over on Instagram. I'm super happy to do it. Again, it's what makes us a community. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe and all that good stuff. We have holiday releases coming out of my ears over here, so make sure that you check back daily. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye.